Welcome back, eh? This is the Canadian Silver Seeker, and today I just wanted to share with you my entire silver dollar set. So, my entire Canadian silver dollar set I'm considering to be complete at this point for now. And why I'm considering it to be complete is because today I got this beautiful 1960 Canadian silver dollar in the mail. And that was the last one that I needed for my set, respectively. So, well, what do I mean by that? There is one other Canadian silver dollar that I don't have here, and if you're an experienced stacker of Canadian silver dollars, you'll know which one it is, and you might just be able to see it on the screen there. One of these looks a little more gold than silver, and it's that spot right there. And why is because this just happens to be a filler for the 1948 silver dollar. And why have I put in an ounce of gold as a filler for the 1948 silver dollar? Well, I did because the 1948 silver dollar can be worth anywhere from about $1,800 to much more than that, depending on the grade that it's in. I see one actually on eBay for $88,000, which I would never ever pay. But there's a Rimnick one as well for $1,800. On average, they seem to go for over $2,000, around $3,000, I would say probably. That's why I've put the ounce of gold in there. But let's take a look at some of these silver dollars that I got here. The first one I got is just a commemorative dollar for the 1911. And why is because the 1911 silver dollar was only 3 of them minted, and they're all in museums, so they're not actually available for collectors. The very first year that was minted for circulation was the 1935. And the 1935 has King George V on it. And if you take a close look, most people probably don't realize, but the 1935 and the 1936 have a slightly different crown on them. And I believe that's because one was considered to be some kind of commemorative coin. I'm not exactly sure. You can also see the Latin written on there is slightly different. So those were the only two with King George V on it. And from there we go to 1937. 1937 is when it switched over to King George VI. Those are all fairly common dates and fairly easy to find. The 1938 only has about 90,000 minted, so it's a little bit harder to find, but still relatively easy. 1939 was a commemorative. And the 1939 was the last year that we minted for a few years. There's a gap in between 1949, there was no mintage in 1940, all the way through 1944. And then the Canadian Mint picked back up in 1945. This is a lower key date, a little harder to find. And I can't remember the mintage offhand, but I'll post it on the screen for you. 1946 is also a more of a key date, a little harder to find, not a huge mintage made. Still dealing with King George VI. And we have 1947. This one has a mintage of 65,000. It's also kind of a key date, a little harder to find. And in 1948, There was a die change, if you watch one of my other videos, due to India's independence. In 1948, they minted a few of the 1947s with a little maple leaf there. You look real close. We'll zoom in there for you. A little maple leaf right by the 7 there, and that indicated that that was minted in 1948. The mintage on that was 21,000, so that is a key date, and that's a little bit more expensive. A little harder to come by. And 1948, they also minted when they finally got the die, and they changed it because of the independence that was regained by the India, and they changed the back of the die with King George V on it. They only minted 18,000 of those, so they're harder to find. 1949 is not hard to find. It does have a beautiful ship on it. Some people pay more for it because of its beauty, you could say. But it is not a hard coin to find, and you really shouldn't pay too much of a premium for that one unless it's in some really good shape. And then we got 1950 there. Just a regular old coin, still King George VI. Try to speed this up so it's not too long of a video. This one is actually a 1951, and this one I found out is actually an error coin. If you look in the front of the canoe there, that is a short water line or some ARN pine error due to polishing of the die. Those lines should go all the way to the front of the canoe, but they do not. So I do have an error, makes this one a little bit more valuable. And basically we have all the way through 52, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have the Death Dollar in 1958. Beautiful coin. I really like that one. We have 59. We have 60, my newest edition. 61, 62, 63. We have the commemorative 64 for Charlottetown. 65, 66, the Centennial commemorative goose. And then I just have a couple extras. The 1984 to commemorate Toronto. And the 100% silver to commemorate in 2003. I believe there is one more of these. I can't remember the year. I might look it up just because I really like the Voyager design. Probably not going to get all the other proofs and specimens out there. But time will tell. Anyways, I hope you guys like my Canadian silver dollar collection. Remember? Doesn't cost you a single piece of silver or gold to like and subscribe. But you guys mean the world to me. Happy stacking, eh?